Hello and welcome back to my garage gym, where today I'm going to take you through my back workout for hypertrophy, which is basically just another way of saying building muscle as opposed to building strength where you're doing lower reps. So we're going to be working in the 10 to 15 rep range for all the exercises today. And it's not necessarily that number of reps that builds muscle, but it's more so a time under tension of around 40 to 50 seconds that's optimal for building muscle. But before we get started, as in all my workouts, I highly suggest you do some kind of easy to moderate cardio warm up, about 10 minutes. My preferred thing to do is an elliptical for 10 minutes just to warm up the whole body, because the elliptical you're working your legs and your arms. But when I'm at home, I don't really have that option, so I just typically go for a walk and warm up that way. So for this workout, we're going to start with the main compound movement, which is the deadlift. So you don't have to do the deadlift. You can still skip this and do the rest of the workout. You'll get a good back workout. But before you say you can't do deadlifts, I highly suggest you try some variation of it. Like, my back is messed up. I've had back issues for over 10 years and I can't do a conventional deadlift. It's too much stress on my back. But when I learned about the sumo deadlift a couple years ago, you're a lot more upright when you do that, and it puts less stress on your lower back. And I've noticed that as I started doing that, my back has gotten stronger and I have had fewer back problems ever since I started doing it. There's also a trap bar deadlift you can try out. But I started really light with it, with 100 pounds, and I've been working up and I'm up to close to 300 pounds now. So no back issues. So consider trying some variation of it, but make sure you have good form throughout it. So what we're gonna be doing for this is 4 total sets. The first 2 are warm-up sets, and we're gonna be doing 2 working sets. So our first set, I'm gonna be using 50% of my max weight, not my 1 rep max, but the weight that I'm gonna be doing 10 to 15 reps on. So that's gonna be 275 today. So I'm starting out with 135 pounds on the bar to do 15 reps. It's good to stretch afterwards. So we're using the exercise that we're doing with lighter weight to get the muscles properly warmed up. So I'm gonna start here, 135 for 15 reps. So now the second warm-up set, we're doing 75% of what my max weight is gonna be. So we have 205 on here now. Gonna do another 15 reps. And after this, should be good and warmed up to do the top sets. So now we're doing the top set of the workout. I have 275 here, and you notice I have straps on now, because I do the first warm-up sets with no straps. When I get to this, I need them because my grip starts to give out. And you'll hear a lot of people say, well, if you can't grip it, then you need to you need to use lighter weight until you can hold that. But I'm not training my grip strength, I'm training my back here. So you can do what you want, but I am using straps. Another option you could do is to use a mixed grip, which I don't like to do personally, because with my back issues, I don't like grabbing any way that's not symmetrical, because I don't want to start getting off of balance and then hurt my back. So if that works for you, fine. I would just switch back and forth. Otherwise, straps or some kind of hook grip works just as well. The goal here is between 10 and 15 reps. Once I hit the 15 rep range with a certain weight, then I'll move up 10 pounds on my next workout. And that is called progressive overload. So as far as rest goes, there's not a certain amount of time I think you should rest. It's more so just long enough so you catch your breath and you can give it your all for your next set, because that last set really took it out of me. But for the last set now, I've got 245, so I dropped the weight by 10%. I could do that 275 again and try to hit 10 to 12 reps, but like I said, I have a bad back and I don't want to push it because that last set was hard. So what I do is I drop the weight some, and to keep making it more difficult, I try to focus more on a slow eccentric, which is the lowering portion of the lift. So I get the weight up there and try to let it down slower. And that's another way to progressive overload, because when I do really heavy weights, a lot of times I'll just let it fall because I'm trying to focus on getting the weight up. This way I'm focusing on that negative as well. And that'll help push even more your gains. All right, so main movement's done. Now we're moving on to barbell rows. And I used to never do these because same thing with back issues. I didn't want to bend over with a bunch of weight trying to row it. And so I've recently started trying out putting my chest on the bench so I could have a chest supported. It takes a lot of stress off my back and do those rows. And another thing I really like about that is it keeps your form really strict. Your form. So I see a lot of times guys will have heavy weight in the gym and they're going like this doing rows, and what you're doing, they have too much weight, so you're using your body to start lifting and then momentum to get it up. But you really want to engage the lats. With your chest here, you can't do that. You just pull up, pause, let the weight back down. That's what we're doing with all these movements, trying to focus on a good contraction. So pull it up hard, quickly, pause, and then let it back down slower. So the first set, I'm doing 100 pounds here for 15 reps. It's somewhat of a warm-up set, and I'm going to be increasing the weight for the next 2 sets. And if you skip the deadlifts, then I would go with 4 sets on this and just use the same weight on your last set for an extra set. So now doing 135 pounds for 12 to 15 reps here. And as far as form goes, once again, a lot of people will kind of pull up like this, especially when it starts getting more difficult. You don't want to use your biceps, you're not using your upper back. You want to focus on bringing that weight into your waist, and you'll really feel your lats get tight when you do that, especially when you pause. So try to focus on engaging the lats because it's one of the hardest muscles for people to really get a good mind-muscle connection. A lot of times because people go too heavy too fast and they're using bad form. So use lighter form until you really feel the muscle contraction. Then you'll know how to do it, add the weight, and you'll get better. Woo! So last set of barbell rows here, increase the weight. I've got 155 now for 10 to 15 reps. And once again, if you skip the deadlifts, I would do one more set of this with the same weight after you finish. That was hard. Next up, we're doing dumbbell rows. Now, you don't have to do this when I'm in a gym. I like to do something like a seated cable row or maybe some kind of seated chest supported row, some kind of rowing motion. But when I'm at home, this is the only option I have. And just like we were doing with the barbell rows, you want to really focus on not using your bicep, but trying to use your back as much as possible. So pulling the weight up into your waist, pausing, feel a good contraction in your lat, and let it back down slowly. So with this, we're going to be doing the same rep scheme as with the barbell rows. So the first set, 15 reps, increase the weight, 12 to 15 reps, increase the weight again. One more time for 10 to 15 reps. And once again, if you skip the deadlifts, then I would add one more set to the end of this as well with whatever the final weight was for your last set. And I don't have 60-pound weight, so I'm using a 50 with my thumb hooked around a 10. Something to remember with form on this, try to keep your back as straight as possible, parallel to the ground. And if you find yourself going like this to get the weight up, then it's too heavy. You want to be still and just bring your arm up and really feel it squeeze and get tight here. Because if you start going like this, then just use lighter weight, don't ego lift. 70 pounds for the next set. Last set, 80 pounds. So done with the rows, which are all good for helping build the thickness of the back. So now we're moving on to lat pull downs here. And this is good for helping build the width of the back. So what we're gonna be doing here is 4 sets. The first one, UPS truck. The first set, doing 15 reps just like before. And I'm using 95 pounds here. And as far as form goes, if you find yourself going like this, swinging back with the weight, once again, drop the weight, make it lighter. You want to get to where you can be locked into place, shoulders back, pull the weight down, pause, let it back up slowly. You don't want to bring in like this. You want to really focus on bring it back, Feel with your lats, feel the contraction, then let it back up slowly. 95 pounds. Second set, 12 to 15 reps, where you finish with a couple reps left in the tank. 115 pounds. Third set, 12 to 15 reps, this time to failure, 125 pounds. So last set, same weight, this time 10 to 15 reps, because if you only hit 12, then you probably won't hit that again. And you heard me say before, don't be swinging the weight down. But on this last set, I'm gonna do as many as I can with strict form, and then I will pull back like that to get it down, try to pause, and then let it back up slowly, because you still are getting a lot of work done in that negative, but only for a few extra cheat reps at the end of the last set. Up to the last thing, we're doing a superset with shrugs and straight arm pull downs. So I'm using dumbbells. I'll go back and forth between dumbbells and barbell shrugs, but the big thing is just try to make sure that you're just shrugging up and not moving your body and bouncing. If you find yourself bouncing or stuff, or bending your arms, I try to keep my arms straight and only lift up, pause, and let back down. So you're really focusing on your traps back there. And I go back and forth between doing barbells or dumbbells, just depends on what I'm in the mood for that day. Today is dumbbells, and then we'll be doing the straight arm pull downs. And the big thing with that is you wanna make sure your arms stay locked in position. You're bent over and you're pulling the weight down into your waist, and that you feel your lats contracting just like on everything else. If you're going like this, you're gonna be using your lats some, and you're gonna start feeling it in your triceps. You really wanna focus on your lats to make sure you're keeping good form so you can really engage your back in this. So we're gonna go back to back with this shrugs, right into the pull downs, then rest, then back and forth again for 2 more sets. This first set is 15 to 20 reps. Got 70s. So you can see I got the straps back on because I don't want my set to end early because of my grip, focusing on getting good contractions without dropping the weight. So keeping the same weight for these last 2 supersets here. I got 90s for the shrugs, doing 12 to 15 reps, and then 75 for the pull downs. Same thing, 12 to 15. This is to failure. And then 1 more set that's 10 to 15 to failure. Once again, because if you only hit 12, then chances are you're not gonna hit that number again if you're really going to failure. So push through it, good form, finish the workout. And that is the full back day for hypertrophy. Everything I did is gonna be listed in the description for you, so you can follow along and try it out. Let me know what you think, if you did, down in the comments. But one of the biggest things to helping muscle growth is tracking your progress. As you can see back here, I have my push, pull, and leg day, so that every time I go into the gym, I have a focus of, okay, I wanna do this, try to get this many reps this time, or I'm gonna add a little weight this time. So that progressive overload that makes your muscles grow. And I see a lot of people who just go in the gym, don't really have a focus. They do work out, but it's just more like a, hey, I'm gonna do this today, or I'm gonna go do that machine, but don't really have a focus to what they're doing. With this, I have a goal, I'm gonna shoot for this, and it gives me motivation to push harder, and then you can see your progress over time, and it's really helpful. But hit that like button if this video was helpful. Once again, comment with anything you have down below. Let me know what kind of stuff you typically do. Subscribe and hit the bell button for more videos like this. I've got a push and a leg day as well you can check out for my 3-day split. Check out Instagram at Camber Fitness, and with all of that, I will see you soon. Good luck with your gains.